So first off, starting even further back before we get to X guard, let's just talk about guard for a second. Because some of you may not know the basic positions. Closed guard, got 3 forms of guard in jiu-jitsu. Closed guard, my legs are wrapped around him. I've got half guard, where I have one leg here that's trapped. And then I have open guard, where I don't have any control of I'll have any legs around his limbs or his torso, but I still have a guard. I still have my legs in front of me, right? This is what a lot of like really high level guard play is just open guard. There's various forms of it. What we're doing tonight is a form of open guard called X guard. Yeah, please. First off, I just want you to get familiar with what the position is before we start talking about what to do from it. Okay. So to start, we can have an overhook over the ankle, or I can have a scoop grip and I can trap the ankle right here in my trap. I'm kind of shrugging up either way. But if I have a scoop grip,
No, I'm just up here.
oh, you're good. If I have a scoop grip, I want all 5 fingers like a claw over the top of the kneecap. I don't want to be under the knee. If I'm under the knee, he can just take his knee down towards the mat. He can just start to crash down on me. Yeah, he's just easily squash me, right? I want to be able to have this pull motion so that I can also drive into the back of his hamstring with my knee to have this little counter wedge there. What's up?
That's good.
So now, this is number 1. That's overhook or underhook or overhook. If I have an overhook, I'm pinching this elbow to my pocket and I'm trying to trap this foot right here in this space. I want to own this foot. I don't want him to be able to yank it out. He's going to be looking to turn his toes in towards my torso and step forward and out and back step. That's what he's going to be looking to do. I want to prevent that. I want to be able to trap this in here. You'll see me pinch my elbow in, and I might even like roll my wrist up and kind of glue my hand to my stomach. So whatever configuration you want with your hand, but there are advantages and disadvantages of either. We'll go into that. Right now, you choose your own adventure while you're just drilling and getting familiar with this. Whatever feels most comfortable. Second is my leg, my first leg, my primary leg. This one is the leg that is nearest to his hips. Okay, so like it's normal to get confused when you first start X guard on like which one goes where. It's the leg that's closest to him, the near side leg that's closest to his hips. That knee is cupping or is pushing behind the hamstring like this, and my shoelaces are going to be up here in the hip, and they're active. Okay, so just with this, I can start to make Alex's hips rotate as if he's throwing a jab. Right? Get strong for a second. Yeah. I can just make his hips rotate. See that? Now my second one is going to go right behind the knee pit here. My shoelaces right behind the knee pit. Now we're in X guard. Okay, we call it X guard because our legs are sort of making an X if you look at it a certain way. Right? X guard is great for setting up leg entries, and it's great for setting up sweeps, wrestle ups. There's all kinds of great things we can do. It's one of my favorite forms of guard. But right now, before we go into any of that, I just want you to grab a partner. I want you to get into the right position, and then I want you to practice feeling where the tension is. Before I even tell you where to feel the tension and where to apply tension, I want you to get into this position and just see how can I manipulate my partner, okay? And then go from there. All right, we're just gonna do this for like 2 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll actually start talking some specifics, okay? 1, 2, 3. Right now when I'm standing here, I have good, what's up, Dean? I have good base, I have shoulder width, feet. I'm upright, good posture, like I can just stand here, right? I'm not too old to stand yet. All right, but as soon as I shift my head forward just a little bit, right? Now there's already, first off, more pressure on I'm actually having to hold myself a little bit. It's not terrible. I could probably do this for a long time. But as soon as I take a big step forward, especially if I was like really leaning forward heavily, take a big step, I have to fall forward. I just became that tripod right there, but without one of the legs. If you look at it, my head's right there in the center, and there's 2 feet propping me up, but there's not a third one to catch me. Right? The purpose of X guard, or one of the big goals of X guard is to cause this exact reaction from Alex. I want to make, right now he has a very good base. I want to make him take a big step away from this foot so that he has to put his hands on the mat to catch himself. He becomes a tripod. Okay. So first off, before I get into that, the knee on the back of the hamstring, some of you may have already felt this, but now just to put words to it, this, my shoelace is on his hip, right? I'm not losing contact here. I'm constantly up in the hip, and I'm rotating this almost like I'm kicking off of his hip and rotating the knee in. Okay, that's where my tension comes from. So it's less about how strong I am, although that will play a factor, especially somebody Alex's size is gonna take some muscle too.
Tell me about it.
But it's also a lot more structural than me just trying to like squeeze him to death. All right, because I'm anchoring myself on his own body. All right, so this knee is consistent pressure in his hamstring. You can't see it maybe. My right butt cheek is not touching the ground. If you can see my hand, it's going in and out, right under. Okay, I'm not on the ground because my hips engaged. I'm lifting. I'm engaging my glutes, and then I'm effectively hanging on him, like trying to hang off of him a little bit, right? And this is with an underhook or an overhook. The next thing I'm looking to do is with this tension, I can start to lean as I take him that way. I can let his weight bring me up as I make him take a big step, make all of his weight and momentum start to go that way. I can let it take me up to my hip so that I can consistently lean and cause his weight to have to fall forward. Okay, so that's what it looks like. It's here. And if I can build to an elbow, it's even better. Okay. Right here is where this is the big goal of X guard is, can I get this guy's hands on the mat and then can I keep them there? Because he's either going to look to be coming back up, or he's going to start pressuring his head into me. In which case we want to start framing on his tricep. We'll get there. Right now, we're going to assume that we get the guy to the ground and he wants to pop back up. Go ahead. As soon as he gets to this peak, right? Momentum's coming up. As soon as he gets to this peak of the momentum, his weight is at the pinnacle. I'm going to drop this foot. This is active, by the way. It's not coming out and kicking him. It's actively going to slide down as I start to extend that leg and kick out, catching him at the ankle. Okay. If you time this right, it should feel fairly effortless. Okay. So I'll do an underhook. This is overhook or underhook, okay? But look at, I'm engaged. My hips, my glutes engaged. I'm hanging off of him, so to speak. I'm going to look to make him take a big step away from me. All right, and let him push me to the hip. As he builds back height, go with momentum. You see how I track the ankle the entire turn too? This is where we're looking to end because we can start a pass or a leg entry from here. Notice that I'm still in X guard though. I'm just on the ground. This is important too. Important to distinguish because especially if you're in here doing like a leg entanglement, like leg lock shootout with somebody, you might find yourself in X guard on the ground without ever having been there while you were standing. And now you'll have some options of where to go when you're here too. All right. Anybody need to see it again? All right. 1, 2, 3.